Hello Leo, welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy Sawyer here with a new reading, a different reading, which is going to speak into the inner masculine and feminine, because we have a meeting of worlds in Leo towards the end of this week, I believe, and we've got Venus and Mars meeting in Leo. And that's going to speak into the passive and the active within and how they relate to one another, where the challenges and frustrations are. So we're going to start by looking at current energy. We're going to read a column for the feminine, a column for the masculine, and then I've created another column in the middle which will look at meeting points, bridges, reconciliations, where we bring these energies together. All right, so we'll start with current energies, and then we're going to look at what current archetypes are being harnessed by masculine, feminine, and in the middle, and what you want to shine a light on, masculine, feminine, in the middle, what you're willing to change, and what you want to achieve, and then we'll wrap it up with a guidance card. You've got a little bit of challenging energy, Leo, here, I'm not going to lie. Let's start with current energy. So what the feminine, Now, this might relate to your inner work, the inner meeting of the masculine and the feminine, the passive, receptive, intuitive, with the active masculine creator, all right? And it might also relate to a real relationship in your life. And if you see that, apply it as it suits. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Feminine current energy. So the feminine is, I get the feminine is in an altered state of consciousness where she can see backwards and forwards at the same time. So there's a process of discernment going on, and kind of feels quite diligent. And there's also a bit of a lostness in there. But this flamingo is wearing a crown. And there's a reminder, because, yeah, okay. So it could literally be stepping into our sovereignty, stepping into your sovereignty. And when we remember that this is within us, it's easier to move through this cloud of confusion and darkness. And we're in a new moon phase as well. And so you might not be getting, new moons are kind of at their weakest. So you might not be getting blasts of insight or inspiration, but just remembering that sovereignty lies within as you go through what's looking like quite an epic change for you within. Your masculine, yeah, the card speaks for itself. It's it can be about what never got made, what was never accomplished. It could be quite a low, disappointed energy. But again, we've got this revealing moon in the middle. I'm getting the revealing of what you haven't yet seen. And to challenge your perception here of what you deem to be unfinished or unmade. This is coming in on the initiatic 10. So it's talking about mastery. It might be mastery of the unknown. Let's see what else comes out in the cards, but the masculine's current energy is wanting to wrap something up. Wanting to wrap something up. Learning patience. Patience for the reveal. Maybe that you don't quite know what you're building yet, but you're suffering in the not knowingness. And maybe, you know, if we've got Mars coming in to activate Leo, then you might want to push forward, but you haven't got the full picture yet. Now, this is where it might get tricky, because your meeting ground, the middle ground between the inner masculine and feminine in their current energies, might look like this. So we've got between worlds, there's an element of the unknown, unfinished sympathy. And the moon is in there, so there's an element of the unknown. And the meeting space might be chaos and conflict. And sometimes we have to build up a head of steam called chaos and conflict, because that acts like the catalyst to break open and receive the unknown. So yeah, the mic is coming in on the 33. So I've got the initiatic 10. I'm getting like, this could be a big level up if you handle it right. I want to get, and if you handle it right, let's get another bridge. So if Leo handles this chaos and conflict in a right-minded way, what's the potential here? Yeah. Stay flexible. Stay flexible with what you don't yet know. All right, pop that one over there, and that will change the energy. All right, now let's have a look at what archetypes are being activated for you in this time. When I say in this time, I'm kind of doing this reading for the end of July, but I'm sensing we're moving into legacy building here. So let's go 6 months, the next 6 months. This is big picture. All right, although you might be in it here now, and it might look like a very real relationship for you. Your inner feminine is harnessing the archetype of God consciousness. So I really there's a real energy of tread carefully here. My solar plexus is activating. It feels a bit shut down. This could be a really big rebirth. Like a higher divine order is what I'm getting. This is really big. I feel nervous now. This is going to reach into how worthy you imagine you are. That might be the unfinished symphony of self-worth. So the inner masculine might be exploring his self-worth as the feminine harnesses this benevolence and compassion, but at a much higher level. This is a harnessing of this internal spirit, becoming very spirited, very inspired. In its shadow, this is about letting go of despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. But I don't get that energy. I get this is quite high vibing, at least on the first few cards. This looks like a real level up, step up in spiritual power. So Leo, your inner masculine, is exploring the archetype of the athlete. How very Leonian. How very masculine. This is about dedication to transcending physical limits. I've got that 33 coming in. My crown chakra is going whappy. This is about accessing the divine. It's beautiful. So transcending physical limits, including handicaps or what you perceive as a handicap, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. Well, this might be about spiritual will over personal will. I think that's where the breakthrough is going to come. The challenge with the athlete is a false sense of invulnerability. Are you brave facing it, masculine? There's a big question in there, masculine, about letting go of how others perceive you, and indeed letting go of how you perceive yourself. Now, the bridge for these archetypes to meet in the middle is uber interesting. There's a theme here. King, God, the flamingo wearing the crown. And this is about enlightened, benevolent leadership. The feminine is harnessing benevolent leadership. And the masculine is willing to transcend the physical. So why am I hesitating? Where's this hesitation? Oh, yeah. Entitlement, athlete. Entitlement. There's a real hesitation here. I'm just noticing the gap where I'm out of flow and in flow. So we've got the feminine moving between worlds to harness. I'm just going to call it what it is. Christ consciousness. 33 energy, that's the angelic realm. We've got the feminine and the meeting point, both bringing benevolent leadership. And we've got the masculine willing to transcend, and yet. And I'm going to leave you to finish that sentence, and yet. Right. Let's look at what you want to shine a light on with the archetypes. So with the archetype of God in the feminine, what you're wanting to shine a light on, you can't make this up, is your spirit self. This is a real shift. This is a real shift. It's beautiful, look. Without even focusing, I mean, she's not even here, she's somewhere else, and yet manifesting. Be who you are as you are. So coming into a truthful expression of self, a real kind of in the moment, pinpoint authenticity in the feminine to support how she's going to harness this God archetype, this benevolence. Powerful. And the athlete wants to shine a light on his emotions. I think this is about brave facing. I really do. Emotions are messengers to be met with appropriate attention, action, and gratitude. Well, let's start with number one. Do you give yourself appropriate attention, action, and gratitude? Or are you all about the physical? And I know Leos get stereotyped, with Leonian bigness and showiness and always looking good. That's a bit old hat now. But there is something in the physical that's causing the energy is very different on the masculine side of the reading. There's a kind of stuckness and my throat's kind of palpating a little bit. But he's willing and he wants to use this physical light, how he sees himself physically, to challenge how he processes emotional energy. Emotions are messengers to be met with. So this is about appropriate attention. And the meeting point of the light that wants to be shone on the king, which is the bridge point for God and the athlete. This is benevolent leadership, the bridge of the light that wants to be shone onto this. Shabing. You're going within. You are going within. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Wisdom, knowing, steadiness. Bringing light into matter. That's a beautiful bridge. That is a beautiful bridge. So Leo is going within, supported by the feminine, and willing to transcend. All right, that's the main messages. Now let's look at what the feminine is willing to change. This card feels like it wants to be on the masculine side. It feels quite masculine, big, bold vision. I want to ask, who has she been dreaming for? I want to ask, what does she now sense is out of alignment with this new energy that's coming in? Put simply, she wants to change her big, bold vision. I'm holding steady, but I don't quite know what to do with it. There's a steadiness to this energy, steadfastness. Until I know, I don't know. It's that. I don't know right now until I do know, and then I'll know. That's triggering these points to ache. I don't know what they mean. What the masculine wants to achieve, look at this. So if we're talking about legacy and we're talking about an unfinished symphony, does the inner masculine know that something is coming online? Did I use the word legacy when I did the intro? Because this last 6 months of the year, we are now legacy building. We are moving into a new karmic intention. Hence the between worlds, old karmic cycles being completed, new potential coming in. The legacy of what we came here to be. Light in matter. Now, if this is what he wants to achieve, I would say that's pretty cool. And this energy feels much easier than the athlete in his bit of stuckness. So as the energy is coming down, it's easing. Yeah, legacy of light is speaking into ancestral connections, not just from this dimension. This is a multi-dimensional self, bringing in the light, returning to child state, feeling supported, bringing that wisdom in. Nurture a caregiver. Okay, and the meeting space. For what the feminine and masculine want to achieve, the meeting space for challenging the big bold vision and harnessing the legacy of light. This is the vision I'm seeing is like you being shown something that you cannot even map to. The subconscious becomes redundant in the identification of this thing, feeling, sensation. This is something so new. It's shock and awe is what I'm getting. And that's acting as the bridge for what you want to achieve in balancing the inner and the outer, or a real-time relationship. New birth, guarded vigilantly. Guarded vigilantly is, yeah, don't speak about it. Keep it to yourself while it births, while it transitions. Because the last thing you need at the moment is other people to dump on your new egg. I can't put it any clearer than that. I would keep it to yourself, guard it and protect it. New life. Wow, that's a heck of a shift, Neonians. Right, let's look at, right, so that was what you want to change. Sorry, that was what you wanted to change. Feminine wants to change the big bold vision. Masculine wants to change the legacy of light, where he's pulling energy from. And the bridge is new birth, guarded vigilantly. So is that about changing the way that you birth? No. The bridge is just to be open and willing. It's to be open and willing for something that you haven't quite met before. All right, so let's look at the achievement cards, what the feminine wants to achieve. Oh, God. This is just such a joyful expression of love. Oh, right, okay. I'm not speaking to, I was just going to speak into a card that this is reminding me of, but it's here. It is about freedom. It's about joy and creative expression. It's about beginner's mind, which means it's about the teacher becoming the pupil. How easy are you to teach? What is your love language? How do you express yourself? Is it full of responsibility and woe, or is it carefree and careless and joyful and light? So what you're wanting to achieve in a feminine is youth, just a youthful expression of love without all the heaviness and obligation and responsibility. Freedom. Ah, similar message. Masculine wants freedom. The masculine doesn't want all the responsibility and the pressure. Look at all this Sun, Leo, fire. It's just, I make decisions without pressure. So this is ease. Now, we started with this kind of Johnny Staccato energy coming down the masculine line. But he's ending up with this. Just passion. It's youthful as well. It's youthful passion. Not too much thinking. And the bridge for what you both want to achieve. This is the energy I was getting with the Page of Cups. It feels like, and it looks like, the child on the horseback in the traditional tarot deck. For the sun energy, it's the return of joyful innocence. It's the return of the innocent expression of passion and the innocent expression of love. Wow. Wow. Get your card to wrap this up. Let's have a guidance card, please, for Leo for this grand elevation. This is, yeah, this is wow. Beautiful energy coming in. It's beautiful. Let's have a card for Leo, please. You got 2. Three of Swords I get with this. Tears are what happens when the ice in the heart melts. True, true, true. I've been seeing an awful lot of frozen heart, frozen child erupting again in another wave of the melting and the opening of the heart. And the heart needs to be open for this conjunction, for this transition. The heart has got to be open. And this is where, you know, the athlete might get challenged in showing the depth of his emotions as he reaches into the legacy of this unfinished symphony. It might be a deep, deep desire within him. So let the tears come. Is your guidance. Let the tears come. We'll put that in the middle. And I think we mentioned this earlier. Worth. Big cat. Big cat. You have been worthy to belong and to be loved all along, without any need to improve. In fact, you are love itself. That's a leap. And you know, I don't mean that in a religious sense. You know that, don't you? I'm talking about Christ consciousness, original blueprint. See, the inner child doesn't really question their worth until they start getting damaged by adults. They just come and they play with passion and love and sun. Look at what you're birthing. This is awesome. Wow. Leo, stay flexible rather than being in chaos and conflict. Move between it and be in it. Be in it. If you watch the collective video I did today, I'm talking about the avoidance of chaos and conflict. It's not nice, not polite, whatever, whatever. Be with it and let it start to melt the heart. You might have to travel through a couple of layers of frustration and grief. But what's underneath is just love, sadness. It's very pure. All right, so it might be some bit of shadow work. Definitely transition, definitely an evolution. evolutionary phase. And again, 6 months, give it time. All right, my big furry pussycats, I'm going to go and leave you with my love. Take good care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.